Here we are, day 29, service to purpose, the mission is you. As you know, it's my boy Flops, and my name is Brooks Holland, and my gift is to see your greatness and to help you stop the self-sabotage and all the stuff you will do to not see it and to not uncover it yourself. Because why am I so good at that? Because I did it for over 25 years myself. So I know everything that you'll try to do to self-sabotage, not see your own greatness, and to, in general, make life harder than it really needs to be. So here we are, day 29, quick recap of the basic rules for the Mission Is You challenge. First thing, every day we wake up, we got to decide and we got to take responsibility. The second thing is a gallon of water a day. You can add lemons, you can add cayenne. The third thing, eat real food, watch your portion sizes. The fourth thing, move your body at least an hour a day. Lift weights, walk, jog, swim, surf, whatever it is, be active a minimum of an hour a day. And the fifth thing, because you're doing all that good stuff, no alcohol, no cigarettes, no weed, no unprescribed medications, and for mostly the guys out there, no porn. Can't keep hiding, can't keep numbing the pain through that. And if you've watched, I did a double feature video yesterday, which was, I called it day 27 and 28 because it was a 20-minute video. And I added a new one. So the sixth thing in there, I want you to commit to this because it's huge, is just start with a 30-day news fast. That means no reading the paper, no watching the news, no liking, commenting, sharing, getting wrapped up in any type of heated political or any of those news subject type related things that you're going to see on Facebook, Instagram, etc. Just fight the urge, and move on. Because in the end, we all logically know that, hey, the news is only bad stuff, yet we get consumed with it, and that is because the brain is designed to survive, not to thrive. And especially most of the stuff we see on the news does revolve around, catastrophes, death, so in that sense, and then it also feeds right in, and then we start having these belief patterns and all this other stuff, and then we start being consumed with the news cycle that's on 24 hours. So it's just bad news, no pun intended. And it was definitely a hard thing for me to break. If you want the full rundown on that, go back one video to day 27, 28. It's about 20 minutes long, kind of a double feature, and it really will go into that. But what I want to really land today, because this is something that really keeps showing up for me. We've all heard, about your comfort zone and leaning into the discomfort, and it's your ego keeping you safe. And I really just want to speak into that a little bit more today, because the ironic thing that I've noticed is the more work that I've done on myself and the more that I've started doing, I started having, quote unquote, those days showing up more often. And when I say those days showing up, it's that ego, it's that voice in your head, in my head, it's that voice that starts showing up, reminding us of all those old patterns, reminding us of the unworthiness, making things so hard. And I was like, man, I'm doing like all this growth. I've done all sorts of stuff, and it's like it's getting harder almost. But really, that's what I talk about, because that just means when you're starting to feel that way, that's a good sign, and you get to keep leaning into that discomfort. And that's why we also have these exercises. When that voice starts, got to disassociate from it. We have to acknowledge it. So when the voice starts going, it's like, I hear you. That's the first thing. I hear you. 2, I know what you're trying to do. And what it's trying to do is keep us safe. The ego is trying to keep you safe from some past pain that's been felt. Because remember, the brain is wired to thrive, not survive. Rewind that. The brain is wired to survive, not to thrive. It's about survival of a species, and that's what the ego is there for. So once we've experienced pain, the ego is there to keep us to survive so we don't experience that pain again. So that's the second thing. The third thing, So let's just recap because I stumbled there for a second. So I hear you. We acknowledge it. I hear you. I know what you're trying to do, which is keep me safe. You are not me. We have to disassociate that. Like that voice in our head, that's the ego. That's not us. We have to disassociate from that so that we can take the action so we can do what's necessary. So once we disassociate from that, I'm not playing that game anymore because I'm done not playing it, but thank you anyway. So those are the 5 steps. The first thing is when that ego shows up, so you can disassociate from that voice. And in this, I'll give you a couple examples. This has come up for me just around these videos because, like I said, my thing was the not worthy, the not good enough, and staying and hiding. So posting public videos on YouTube, you know, that's something that's basically like showing the world that you're not worthy, you're not good enough. So my ego is going to do whatever it possibly can to keep me safe, which is to not do videos. And like I said, when I did that very first video, I was nauseous. I had like diarrhea. I was like, there was nothing I ate. There was nothing out of the ordinary. The only thing different was that I was about to do a video. After I did the video, it was like, holy cow, like I felt so good. But then there's also this part like, hey, sweet, I got it, I beat it. Wrong. And it was, I don't know, I think it was probably around day 20. In the early 20s, it was late at night. I hadn't done a video. I wasn't really feeling it. And that voice starts cropping up in my head. It's like, you've been doing so good on the videos. You're only getting a couple videos and a couple views in the first 24 hours anyway. No one's really gonna know, or no one's really gonna miss. No one's sitting by their computer refreshing, waiting for your video. Just take today off and do it tomorrow. And that was just the ego trying a different tactic so that we break consistency. And it was funny because I'm in a small private men's group, and I actually shared this very story in there, and this is where you never know who you can impact. And it was just perfect that I did, because one of the guys in that group, he was on his 80th day of not drinking. He had a pretty serious beer habit, after work, super hardworking dude. And it was, crushing 12 packs of beer every night for years. Like that was his routine. And he stopped 80 days ago, and he'd pulled like a 16-hour day. And, all he wanted was to have, the voice, oh man, you've worked so hard, just have one beer. Plus his friends weren't exactly, supporting his fact of him not drinking. Just so happens, but he checked, we had this, message thread, and he happened to have seen me sharing about that. And it was just huge for him because he shut it down. He didn't let that voice let him end and interrupt that streak. Because here's what happens. Even if you do have one beer, is one beer really going to do anything? No. So it's either going to A, lead to 2, 3, 4, and some sort of slippery slope, which then the ego gets what it wants, which is get you to slip back into where you were. Or you have one beer and you're like, I didn't even feel anything. Why did I do that? I ended my 80-day streak for nothing. So, again, it was just awesome because it landed for him. He fought it back, and his streak continues. He's at 80-something days now. And the thing is, that same thing shows up with weight loss. Anything that we're doing, we get a streak, and then we start negotiating. It's just one piece of dessert. It's not going to hurt when we've committed to something totally different. And it's all these things. There's just the ego being sneaky to keep us safe, because logically we say we want to lose weight, we want to stop drinking, we want to do all these things. But basically, if we stopped doing those things, it's the ego keeping us safe. So it's like, hey, if I lose weight, I'll be at this ideal weight, which in a sense would make me worthy. But that's why it's, man, it's just really crazy and conniving, all the links that the ego will go to keep us safe. Because that's the thing, it ends up keeping us safe from everything that we say that we logically want. You want love, it shows up on your doorstep, and what happens? We end up self-sabotaging it, whatever it is, so that we get to be right about being unloved. can't lose weight, the drinking, all these things. And it's just really reflecting now on how many times it's like you always hear about the ego and all these things, but it is really sneaky, and you'll know because you'll feel it in the pit of your stomach. You'll really know when you're pushing on your comfort zone. You'll really know when that ego is really showing up to keep you safe. It will manifest in physical ways. It will tell weird stories. It will negotiate with you for you to stay small and to not live into your greatness, because you're worthy, you're enough, you're loved, you're all these things. Just got to disassociate from that voice. You got to acknowledge it, acknowledge it's there, but you're not going to listen to it, and just keep pushing through and taking the actions. Because remember, the mission is you. So leave a comment, let me know what you think. And then also, leadership. One of the biggest things you can do as a leader is to develop other leaders. So if you find value in this or any of the other videos, just copy the link, share it with somebody. It's just about that ripple effect. Did a video several ago. I mean, it's already crazy how these videos, even with quote unquote not that many views, have had an impact around the world and how things have kind of bounced around. So there you have it, day 29, service to purpose. The mission is you. I'm Brooks Holland, and this is my boy Flops, and we'll be back tomorrow with day 30. Have a good one.